What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I wanted to talk about Immortals of Availabilium, whatever that game's called, Magic game by EA, and the power narrative, and Unreal Engine 5, and how the PS5 has fooled a lot of people this generation. Now, remember when the Unreal Engine 5 demo came out and they said, oh, PlayStation 5 only through the power of the SSD and all this, just words and things that made no sense, right? Now, the truth is coming out. When you have a giant developer, a giant publisher like EA, who can give the resources to each and every console that is needed to optimize for each console, which is what happened with Immortals of Availabilium, Avian, whatever it's called, then you see the results. And so I'm looking at the Xbox S and X. Like, of course, the S looks not as good. The S is the best version. Looking at the PlayStation 5, and I'm like, why the frames, like, on the title screen, the frames are dropping lower than they should, lower than the X, lower than the S in some instances. I'm like, and in some instances, the S is actually performing better in certain circumstances. PlayStation is the worst version. Why is that? I thought it was just, here's what I think. Unreal Engine 5 obviously wasn't out when they were making these consoles. So how, I guess, Mark Cerny spec'd it out, meaning the PlayStation 5, was based off Unreal 4, obviously, because he didn't have any Unreal 5 APIs or, engines or anything to work off of. Now that the Unreal Engine 5 is out, and Lumen and Nanite is taxing these systems, that power that the Xbox has, the actual power, not this magical, it's a magic SSD and we're gonna overclock stuff so it's really fast and not as many compute units. PS5. Without the power, it doesn't matter how fast your system is, you can't do it. You can't do it. So the power of the Xbox is, for lack of a better term, but it's actually not. It's brute forcing the Unreal Engine 5 point, whatever, I don't even know what point it's at. It's doing what it needs to do to make those systems work within that engine. The PlayStation 5 can't handle it. Not like the Xbox, obviously. So, this power narrative is skewed towards PlayStation, and I said this before, but that's because they have been paying for parity, and the developers have been optimizing for the PlayStation 5. People don't understand this. They don't realize, and then they assume that the PlayStation 5 is more powerful. It's not. The devs are making the better versions for the PlayStation 5, period. That's it. And they're not optimizing for the more powerful system because they just figure, hey, it's so more powerful, it can just brute force it to be close to the parity of what we did on, and I'm like, and when you see a dev come through and actually do what they needed to do to make each version the best it could be, which version is the better version? We're gonna see more of this generation. We're gonna see more Unreal Engine 5 games that are this gen, and it's just gonna be better on Xbox if and only if. Well, actually, I don't know if that's true because the PlayStation 5 may not be able to do the things that the Xbox can just natively. Maybe it's easier in Unreal on the Xbox Series consoles, to optimize. That's what I'm saying. And so Sony loses that advantage unless they pay for optimization, unless they pay to have the better version, which I would say is not beneath them, because they literally said that that's what Xbox would do if they bought Call of Duty. So if they said that, that means that they have thought about it and probably have done it. And I think they have done it. I believe that they have done it. But, whatever. It's anecdotal. It's just speculation. But, I mean, it is justified by behaviors and facts and stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, this is just the beginning. I mean, Starfield isn't even out yet. It's coming out in a couple of days. And this is literally the beginning of the end of the PlayStation reign. And you see the ponies, you see the donkey unicorns, they're losing their minds. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, they don't know what narratives to chase, or what points to make, because Colin's not saying anything right now. He's probably gonna play Starfield. All these ponies that are like, oh, I don't need an Xbox, I could just buy a PC. They're not buying a PC, because to run Starfield the way that you want to run Starfield, equivalent to an Xbox Series X, is more than $500. I'm just letting you know. So it's cheaper for them to buy Xbox. And I don't know if it was Colin, but they blurred out the thing and said, I was gonna let my girlfriend play Starfield on my Xbox, and she didn't want that. She said she didn't want to watch. She wanted to play it herself, so she's getting her own Xbox. She sold her PlayStation 5 to get an Xbox to play Starfield. That's what's up. That is what's happening. That is the narrative. It's not like, it's different, right? Like when Hogwarts Legacy came out, right? It's like, oh, people thought it was a PlayStation game. It was only on PlayStation. They thought it was exclusive. So everybody was like, oh, I gotta go and buy me a PlayStation 5 so I can play Hogwarts, because of their marketing. It worked. Now, exclusive Starfield, everybody who has bought that PlayStation 5 for Hogwarts Legacy is like, oh, I'm gonna play this more. Oh, it's not on PlayStation. I guess I'm selling my PlayStation 5 and getting me an Xbox. Yo, casuals don't care. They're not loyal. They're like, I want to play this game. Let's go. What do I got to do? I got to sell the PlayStation because I ain't using it anyway. Let's go. It's hilarious to see the changing tides, and it's almost deserved. It's like, that's what you get, Sony, for trying to be Sony, for trying to take over, for trying to squash your competition like that. It's like, you don't slap the champion of slappers because they have a big pound money and they slap you with the money. Anyway, it's entertaining. One thing I want to say, not pertaining to this, but another topic, and it's about IGN again. I was forced to listen to IGN today because I literally burned through all my podcasts. I need to get some more podcasts, I know. But they put out there the best games wrap-up thingy thing of Gamescom, right? It's like an hour and 47 minutes. And they put it on their Beyond feed, their podcast Beyond feed, which is a PlayStation feed. So I'm listening to this thing. They didn't do it in chronological order, at least I don't think they did, because the first thing that happened at Gamescom, the Jeff Keighley joint, was Starfield. Starfield jumped off the whole show. They didn't say anything about Starfield. I was listening to this, I was halfway through, I was like, I'm gonna turn this off, and I was like, nope, I gotta do my due diligence, I gotta do my homework, let's go. I listened to the whole thing. 5 minutes before the show is over, before the hour and 47-minute show is over, they mentioned Starfield for about 30 seconds. I was like, really? Really? This is what's going on at IGN? It's like, first, why would you put the Gamescom special about all the games on your PlayStation feed? Why would you do that? I know why they would do that, because they have more people listening to that feed, because PlayStation is more popular. But if you want to be an actual news outlet, and you want to be fair, and you want people to look at you not with a crooked eye, then you put it on GameScoop. because the hosts for Beyond weren't even there because they were probably at Gamescom. Oh no, they were at Gamescom, but the host, Max Schofield, he's the host. He wasn't there. So they had, I forgot, Hakeem, whatever his name, I can't remember his name. He was doing the hosting. He's all right. But you didn't even need to, it didn't need to be on the Podcast Beyond feed. That's my whole point. Or they should have done an experiment and they should have put it on each of the feeds and see which one performs best. Or they should have had, they should have a general feed. I think that's one of the main problems with IGN is that it's segmented beyond Podcast Unlocked, and I don't even remember what the Nintendo voice chat is. That what it's called? I think they actually stopped that show. And GameScoop. GameScoop is a general, Matt Damon. Wow, Damon Hatfield, and it's a general show, and that's where it should have been. It should have been GameScoop, but whatever. And I'm listening to it, and a lot of it was commercials. There was a lot of commercials. A lot of it was like, oh, watch the trailer. I'm like, this is a freaking audio feed. Why didn't you go in and edit out those parts where it's literally a trailer, a video game trailer? How are we why are you showing us, why is there video audio? I'm like, y'all don't care. And I was just like, okay. It's more evidence that IGN is kind of skewed that way. They're biased not because it's PlayStation, but because it's more popular. Whatever's more popular is what they're going to bow down to and cater to. And that's not what it should be. I'm gonna let everybody who's listening right now know, IGN is not the place you should go for your video game news because it's vanilla. Sure, they have their opinions, but I'm listening to it and I'm like, it's like white. It was literally white noise. I put it on to hear stuff coming out of my phone because I didn't want to listen to the evil birds and the Tweeties and not today. I didn't want to listen to the birds today. Usually I like the birds, not today. But anyway, got distracted. The better show, the better personalities who don't care, who will say stuff, who will make you genuinely laugh. When's the last time somebody made you laugh on an IGN show? Only two people there that can make me laugh. That's Max Scoville, that's Brian Altano. Everybody else are boring, they're part of the machine, they kick rocks. Go listen to the Giant Bombcat. GiantBomb.com, the Bombcast, freaking the voicemail dump truck. Anything that they're doing, Giant Bomb, is beautiful. It's so entertaining. The voicemail dump truck, by the way, not even about video games. It's just they have a voicemail, 1-800-EXIT flu, something like that, and they just answer the questions. They play the voice. They go around. You pick a voicemail. They do the voice, and then they answer the questions, and it's great. And I'm like, all right, and it's funny, and that's how you build an audience based off of the people who are on your shows, the characters. There are no kids. Like I said, there are only two characters at IGN. The rest of them are just bruh. They're like mayonnaise on white bread. I'm like, I can't. Y'all are so boring. Why do I listen to you? When the news is gonna be skewed. You're not impartial. I'd rather listen to GameScoop because he throws in those, he's got 20 questions. He does a lot of old school stuff. I like that. It's a little bit of a retro throwback type of thing. It's cool. And you get a little bit of knowledge too. So, but everything else is just like, they feel like they're catering to their audience a little too much instead of providing a fair and balanced, I hate to say that term, but video game news source. They're not that. And they don't even make you laugh. So I'm like, what? It's just really, yeah. I would say anybody's better than them. I mean, you can go listen to Dealer or any of those guys, D-Batch. I mean, he's a little PC. He's a little PC elitist, but you know, whatever. He's a tech guy. Another last thing is Marquez Brownlee. He's a tech guy, super tech guy. He's been doing it for a long time, but he started when he was like freaking a baby, basically. And he had some thoughts about the PlayStation Portal. And he said, this is paraphrasing, he said, this is one of the most egregious and just bad, he didn't say bad, but just horrible instances of consumer, like just bad consumerism. That's not the word. But as far as the Bluetooth thing, like not including the Bluetooth, I've heard at least 5 different takes on that PlayStation Portal. None of them are good. None of them are good. Now, Marquez is not a pony. He's not an Xbot. He's not a whatever Nintendos are. He's a tech guy. He's PC. He's, I think, as far as phones go, he doesn't care if it's a good phone. It's a good phone because that's what he usually mainly does, phone reviews. Well, he does everything, but you know. And so when he says something, I know he's not full of shite. I know he's not coming at it biased. He's just like, this is bad for consumers. This is anti-consumer right here, what they're doing as far as the PlayStation. I heard him say it. I heard Young Yes say it. I heard everybody else who said, oh no, it's Alex said it. Rich from Review Take USA said it. That's 4. I don't think I heard Destin's take yet. I don't know if he's done it. You see, IGN, he didn't do it because he don't want to make Sony angry. I'm just playing. He probably did one. I just haven't found it yet. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just an indication that Sony is not. It's not the same Sony. It's not a PlayStation 4 Sony anymore. It's not your Sean Layden Sony anymore. Sorry, ponies. I don't know when y'all gonna wake up and realize this. I guess when you go and buy an Xbox to play Starfield, that's when you wake up. I heard, was it Foxy Games went and bought an Xbox because he's trying to play Starfield, and then everybody was calling him traitor and stuff. It's hilarious. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. Is Foxy a traitor? What's your kind of, I know we talked about it before. What do you think about all these creators, these content creators coming out and giving their opinions about the PlayStation Portal? That's another thing. And what do you think about this whole Unreal Engine 5 and the power narrative and how the PlayStation is starting to fall behind? And that's probably why they're gonna come out with a PlayStation 5 Pro, which is a bad idea. Don't do it, but whatever. You wanna anger some developers, you do that. But anyway, I appreciate y'all all the time. Hanging with that. I gained like 1 subscriber, so hey, positive movement is positive movement, whether it's 1 a day, 1 a month. I wish it was 1 a day. 1 a month. Look, I'm not asking for rainbows and unicorns, and I don't know why I said that, but you know, miracles happen sometime. I'm not looking for a miracle. But look, like I says all the times, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna keep doing this, even if I'm talking to myself. That's when. Anyway, I'm not going there. Sorry. But yeah, let me know in the comments and hit me up at any comments you guys want to say. You know, any questions you want me to, any topics you want me to tackle. It's an open forum. Just like I say all the time. Be nice to each other, respect each other. We can have debates, we can make a little bit of fun of each other, but please, this is all fun and games, honestly, when it comes down to it. And I want to keep it like that. I want to keep it lighthearted. Although, one last thing, I do listen to Dirk Griggity, and I do agree with a lot of his sentiment, and he hates ponies. And I mean, there's a distinction between real ponies and people who are just, you know, Sony fans who kind of, you know, lean into it a little bit. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Tilt the way.